I wish I had like a little button clicker. I wonder if they make those.
If you have an Apple Watch, you can do it from the watch. That's what I did last time.
That is asking a lot
my
of
watch.
me. That's asking a lot of me. Hi.
Hi.
You really do look like a newscaster. I like it.
Welcome to Chit Chats, a completely unedited space where we break the cycle of what it means to be a woman together.
What are we going to talk about?
Our intros, because we're getting our feet wet on this space. Today we're talking about, Can you take a guess based on what I have here? These are pieces from my personal makeup collection. We are talking about makeup.
Yeah, this is something that we have debate about quite often because we just both have different feelings about makeup. Yeah. But never in this conversation is anybody meant to be judged or anything. This is just a healthy debate that Stephanie and I tend to have, I don't know, once a month. So I'm excited to get into it. So
me too.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to preface this with, I have been a professional freelance makeup artist, just a professional makeup artist, freelance or not, for over a decade. So my view of the industry and how cosmetics are used is a little bit different from the way that she feels. And so I'm kind of excited to really dive into this because I think we've talked about it at length, but we've never really
videoed ourselves talking about it. So I'm excited.
Do you want to start off? Do you want me to kick it off?
I mean, so basically it's not that I don't like makeup and think that it can enhance a woman's beauty, but I rarely wear makeup. I have a little bit on right now, but I don't put it on my face to make me look like someone else. Mm-hmm. So that is where I come from in the debate of makeup is I don't like when girls who are beautiful on their own decide to literally cake their face with makeup and look like somebody else. To me, it's like really deceiving. And also I end up feeling bad for that person because I think they have a lot of insecurity problems. So that's where my debate stands from. Now it's on to Stephanie.
Well, I'm going to ask you a question.
Yeah, do it.
You said that it's deceiving to who? Who are these women deceiving?
Themselves and others.
Okay, and this is where I come in. I love this. I know, I couldn't wait for this. I'm like, oh, yes. If it's not affecting you personally, then why does it matter? Because if a woman's putting on, when I put on, and I have very light today, but I normally like to
I made her do a 15-minute face today. Usually she sits in my bathroom for like an hour.
Yeah, I can really go for it. It's therapeutic for me. When I put on a full, heavy face, I could absolutely care less if anybody's like, oh my God, you look so different without it. Because for me, it's an art form. And like I said, it's therapy. So I like the way that I look with it on. And I like the way that I look with it off. So the question I have is, since we are talking about how we want women to be unapologetically themselves, that thought of, oh, well, you're deceiving someone. The feminist in me is like, a man, well, who cares? Like, you obviously should have brain cells enough to know that we are not born with lashes up to our eyebrows. Like, really use common sense. So when you say deceiving, in what way? Like, clarify that, because
so my concern, it's not like deceiving outside forces, like, oh my God, you are so beautiful or whatever it may be. That I'm more thinking about it as the viewpoint of from myself.
Oh, from the self.
Self. Like, I don't know, I just get really nervous that they're not self-satisfied and don't think their self is beautiful. Pores, acne, under Agbar, oh gosh, I can't speak. Agbar.
It's Aladdin. Aladdin now.
Under eye bags, which I have very bad ones, but like it just concerns me that they're not self-secure in themselves. So they're putting on a mask, as it were, which is what I lived through for so long.
It's coming from a place of personal experience with makeup, because you
Yes.
utilized it to make yourself feel pretty. So you put your worth on the makeup. Is that what it is?
I never was a makeup person. But as we spoke about in one of our other debates with makeup, it was the girls who would bully me wore a lot of makeup.
So you associate
So I
that.
associate it with mean girls, I think, or girls that feel like they need to do that to be better. And that is not where I'm at. It's like when we watch The Bachelor or The Bachelorette or Bachelor in Paradise, and these girls get fully made up, and I'm like, oh my God, they don't even look the same. Like, are they totally unhappy with themselves that they have to like put on this face and all this makeup? It makes me sad.
Okay. Couldn't you say then that it's almost like an insecurity on your end?
Most likely it is.
Because I know for me, so when I was younger and I first started out in makeup, I very much used makeup to feel pretty. It just for me was, I felt ugly without it. And I have notes and letters and journal entries from when I was younger saying that I wish I could feel beautiful without makeup. And I don't know when that turn happened, but I stopped wearing as much. And I couldn't tell you I didn't have like an aha light bulb moment, but I think when I started getting into skincare and I started realizing how important it was for me to just have nice skin for myself. And I was using makeup to hide
whatever,
the acne or whatever, which again, totally normal. If you wear a bare face and you don't have clear skin,
I do it all the time.
I have acne, and I remember I used to not wear spaghetti straps because I was like, don't look at my hideous chest and back. I could absolutely care less now. If you're going to judge me based off of a natural bodily function, you have to live with yourself. I don't.
Yeah.
I enjoy myself, and it's a pimple, like, grow up. So it came from a place of being very insecure, but then as I started to grow into the artistry of it and what you were able to accomplish with it in terms of creating a character, that's when I started to see how cool and unique the art side of makeup was. So I stopped putting this label attached to it. So I stopped attaching a label to it that said, I need this to be beautiful. Instead it was, I like this because it shows off a different side of myself. So I think me maybe finding it more of an artistry side of things, and working with clients, the saddest thing that I have come across is when someone's like, oh my God, make me look 30 years younger. I'm so old, my bags, and these women pick themselves apart. That breaks my heart. And you are never gonna like what makeup looks like on you
if you don't like the person.
If you don't like the person underneath.
Yes, ma'am.
The girls and the women that wear really exaggerated makeup, I have found, don't dislike themselves at all. Because if that was the case, they would be wearing makeup like you and I right now. Because most of the women that do dislike themselves are the ones that wear it the way you do and the way I do currently. I have someone I know that she thinks she's horrendous without her lashes done and under eye concealer. She's not going to go out of her way to wear heavy makeup because that's too extreme. So I would love if maybe you saw it in a different way and like look at it as, instead of saying, oh, this girl's looking completely different than how she normally looks, there's a really good chance she does care about herself. She just doesn't give a shit because she's going to put it all on because it makes her feel good. Because that's not the typical. There is not a lot of people that look at heavy makeup and think, oh wow, beautiful. They think, oh, the more natural, right? You get this a lot with brides. The more natural you look, the prettier you are. Oh, you don't need a lot of makeup. Boys like you without, with only a little bit, cover up all the imperfections. So the opposite of that would be heavy makeup. And I certainly never wore heavy makeup because I didn't like myself. Eventually, I wore it because it was a display of art. because when I first started off with makeup, I didn't wear it too heavy because I was afraid of people thinking I was a slut or like I was a bad person because, you know, I used to wear the red in my waterline and the red lipstick and totally pale face, and then I was like, oh no, I need to be a ladylike, and so there was all these rules and restrictions, and it depended, and I ended up getting called a slut anyway for absolutely no reason other than how I looked, how I dressed. So maybe try to spin that view and look at it as like there are probably women that are like me that are actually more insecure than the women who do wear all of that. I think the important thing to keep in mind is that it takes a certain level of confidence to wear that much makeup because you are opening up yourself for criticism. So when you wear it, you're not wearing it to try to be more beautiful. You're wearing it kind of knowing, like I know when I wear certain stuff on my face, I'm going to get looks, I'm going to get questions, I'm going to get people making comments. And I've had women tell me before, oh my God, like, who needs to wear all that makeup? And I'm like, congratulations, Kara, that you can wear SPF and like a little lash and that makes you feel good. But it's, you know.
But there you said it. That is what makes you feel good. So
Yeah.
So I hope the women that, you know, do wear all that makeup do feel secure in themselves.
Yeah.
That's always that's my biggest fear, is that they're just trying to put this literal mask on for society to be like, look at me, I'm a suitor, I'm a good partner, I'm so pretty, I am the beauty standard, which basically is this whole discussion is like the beauty standards that have been set now are absolutely insane.
Oh yeah.
Celebrities have millions upon millions of dollars to be able to spend on skincare,
and they're creating their own. That's how you know when the industry is really something big, is when you see a lot of these
celebrities coming out with their own skincare
lines, their own makeup lines. And you know what? You have to be really, really careful, because a lot of these celebrities say that, oh, they were super involved in the process. And I don't disagree that to a certain extent they probably are. But for the most part, they're hiring out one of the larger like mother companies. Yeah. So there's how it works kind of, and I can break it down. I think this is still accurate. If it's not, I will link everything below so that you can read all of the stuff. But MAC was originally, I think it was just its own thing, and then it got bought out by Estee Lauder. If you go into Macy's, which is a pretty well-known department store, Macy's has Estee Lauder as like the mother company of most of the cosmetics that you see there. So I believe Estee Lauder owns MAC, it owns Clarins, it owns, I think it owns Chanel. I don't know about Lancôme, because I know Lancôme owns L'Oreal, if I'm not mistaken. So a lot of these brands they're just reformulating, they're taking ingredients out, they're charging for this ingredient. So you can't always trust that like a celebrity who has poreless skin is using their own products. Prior to that, to get themselves to that point, they were using different stuff. They have, you know, facialists,
estheticians, and all of these people that they're going to and able to, you know, spend time and money doing that, you know. So that's, I think, at the end of the day, the biggest argument of this for me is beauty standards. I don't want women to feel like they need to look a certain way. I think it's absolutely insane that people put that on us, because there's already so much that society puts on us. Why in all hell is makeup part of it? Why do I feel like I need to do that to be pretty? Stop telling me that.
So, and this is kind of where we both agreed, right? Yeah. So we both have very strong opinions about what we feel if a girl wants to wear heavy makeup, if not. But I think we both agree that the core issue of it is, if you go back in time, because of all of the standards that were placed upon women, we felt the need to live up to a certain
Image.
expectation and image, right? But it was so one-sided. So now fast forward, in order to take back our independence and to take back our love of self, let's say, you look back at the 20s where we started to show a little kneecap and people were like, oh my God, I can't believe it. But that was our way, because we were so repressed and we had to cover it up. In order to take back our femininity, we went the complete other spectrum, which was show everything off. So I feel if we were not so suppressed and we were not told to cover up and be good and clean and the perfect housewife,
Smells pretty,
that we wouldn't be in the situation where
we
essentially feel the need to show our buttholes off to own our femininity and our sexuality. I think if we were given the option from day one, we would find that there would not be such a severe divide in how you and I feel about these things. And someone could be walking with their nipples out and we'd be like, good for her, and we wouldn't think anything of it. But I think because of our conditioning, unfortunately, it's something that's just deeply rooted in individuals, and you have to work really hard to break it. And I know I still have very judgmental attitudes about what
Other women
wear, and which is crazy, because if you saw some of the stuff that I wore, I'm sure people have comments about that, and they do.
I'm a sweatpants girl all the way.
I am everything. I'm either I want to look like a total F-boy, or I am wearing heels, lashes, hair's done, fake nails. So I'm all over the place. Just depends on the day for me.
I'm pretty constant.
She's consistent. I'm a little bit chameleon-y in the sense that I like to just dip my toe in every little fashion pool, just to find what feels good, But I think that's really what's the main point about it.
Is this beauty standards thing. And it's just going to get worse and worse. And I just saw that, online on one of the social media platforms, they put the picture of the Golden Girls and then the pictures of the Sex and the City ladies. And I was like, of
what it would be like today. And they have all the filters. And that's really another huge issue.
But just
filters.
The filters. But did you see it's the picture of the Golden Girls at age 50 versus the picture of all the SJP and
that I didn't see.
From the new series of Sex and the City, they also being 50-year-old women, what the difference of 50-year-old women look like in the span of 30 years. The beauty standards are insane. It's just absolutely crazy to me that we live in this world where it's just amplifying.
Everybody's trying to chase the fountain of youth.
Yeah, which I was talking to some students the other day, and I honestly think that there is a fountain of youth out there. I think there are some elite people out there. You know who you are. Paul Rudd is one of them, who has dipped into that pool.
I want to dip into his pool.
And just never, they're never going to age. It's really, I don't know how they found it. I guess you have to be knock on the door. It's a secret code. I don't know.
I think it's just genetics.
No,
but I always like to, because we're kind of rounding the corner to 20 minutes here, so we like to keep these relatively within the 20-minute range. So I want to make sure that we're not just talking, we're lipping off, but we're not talking about how we can change it. So what are ways that we can flip the script?
I think, and we live in such a self-love society, and I know it's so much, and, everything is being overwhelmed and saturated in the market, but I think it's coming to terms with self. I also think it's a lot to do with men in this world need to be okay with seeing women who have no makeup on and think they're beautiful or whatever it may be. We don't look like this when we wake up, boys, so I don't know why you think that's the way it is.
The key word, boys.
Yeah, I think that's the difference.
I've met real men in my life who they don't care.
Yeah, it's true. My husband does not care. But I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I think it's also starting the communication between genders. So telling little boys, little girls, you don't have, this is not the epitome. This is not the apex. You don't have to work up to this.
Or educating them that if you want to wear makeup,
you can wear makeup.
You can wear it and celebrate the artistry of it. Because that's why I wear it. I wear it because I love just like walking around with art. And I did read something recently where the gentleman said, guys, when you tell women why do they wear all that stuff on their face, they're prettier without it, you're essentially telling them that something they took time on, an art they took to create, isn't good enough. So I think that's a narrative we want to, as women, try to stay away from.
Change.
And that goes to the ones that like I can be a little judgy about when someone's like, I only took, however long I only put on lip balm. We call them chapstick brides, where they want a little mascara and some chapstick. They don't like all the fuss and fuss. Totally fine. So I can work on definitely not being judgy at somebody who maybe doesn't want to do all of that. That really is not something they connect with.
Yeah. And I guess I should work on the idea of not looking at those women and maybe feeling like they don't have self-love. If you are out there, I hope you do have self-love, because it's so important, and you are beautiful without it. This is not necessary. But I hope we get to that point. Like, I hope 5 years down the line, when my nieces start wearing makeup, if they do, that they understand that they are beautiful without it. Like, ooh, my goodness, I got so emphatic, I forgot that was there.
She was like,
yeah, I'm done with this. I'm done with all the makeup. But I'm like, Godzilla, get out of here. But that's why I do all of this, is really for my nieces. It's for this next generation of women to be able to create their own narrative.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
Well, sound off in the comments too if you're watching this.
Yeah, let us know.
Let us know. We love healthy dialogue. Some housekeeping rules is we don't accept or tolerate bullying or name calling. So if you can't have a healthy debate, then we're going to delete you and ask you to leave.
Yeah.
So it's nothing personal, but it's personal.
Yeah.
Make sure that you are keeping kind in the comments.
Yeah. Everybody has opinions. They're, as I tell my students, they're like buttholes. Everybody has one.
True story.
It's all good. Just like Steph said, keep it nice, keep it positive, and like healthy debates are great. Communication is really important. But when you start putting up walls and being rude, that's where and no hate. We don't accept hate here. This is a judgment-free zone.
So just make sure you sound off in the comments though, because we love to know
what
your
resonates with you
and how you can be a better individual. So that's what these spaces are for. It's not just to listen to us talk about our opinions.
It's how you can help to change the narrative.
Right. What can we do instead of just complaining about it? How can we fix it?
Yeah.
So it's a very solution-based chit chat.
Yeah, I like it. So I think, Stephanie will tell me if I'm wrong, you should hit the bell.
Yes, to get notified.
I did that
when
right.
we post.
So good. You should also follow our Cycle Chats page on Instagram at Cycle Chats. It's all lowercase. You can also find us on our website, www.cyclechats.com, where we have a blog and all of our episodes are up there. And then reach out to us. Like Steph said, we want to communicate. We want to collaborate. We actually want to break the cycle of what it means to be a woman together. And that means collaborating together. We can't do it just the two of us. We need all of the cycle cats.
We want to become the crazy cat ladies.
Yeah, we're going to try and herd all the cats.
With you guys as the cats.
Exactly. So I think, did I do a good job?
It was beautiful. It was so well done. And all the links are in the description below, so check that out.
And I think that's it. Bye.
That was good.